This is World Wide Web Radio. It's the way of the future. And talking about the future, let's talk about the past at 8:13.
That was a good one. Did that happen to you?
What a mind.
Wow.
Look, it went that way. His name is Harold the H.
I can't get that high.
Peacock. He's out there, historyouthere.com. Check it out. And he's going to tell us about G'day, Harold.
Hey, Denny, how you going?
Oh, mate, if I was throbbing anymore, it'd be like a sock full of mullet. Now, you're going to tell us, are you with me today?
Look, I am. It's
I
just
missed that
I've
one
never
too,
had a
mate.
sock full of mullet before.
Now, 19th century storytellers whose adventures include Crimean War, Indian Mutiny, shipwrecks, and even the Tiger King. Take it away there, big fella.
Yeah, Danny, it was back in the 19th century when William Lancaster of Ipswich, whenever he enjoyed a night out, he always had the best stories to tell.
Right.
He was a coal miner and lived in Tivoli, and his life was just chock-a-block full of adventure. He was a veteran of ships that went to the Crimean War and the Indian Mutiny. He sailed with Lord Roberts of Kandahar, who was the most famous military commander of his time.
Wow.
William was twice shipwrecked, once off the coast of Newfoundland and once off England. Now, he came to live in Ipswich in 1869, and it took 30 years, but he eventually met his match as a storyteller. Now, it happened when his daughter, Jane Lancaster, married a William Spendlove at Southport in 1899. William impressed his daughter's new family with his adventure stories, but Jane's new brother-in-law, Valentine Spendlove, told a story that topped them all.
Yeah.
On the morning of Wednesday, the 21st of November, 1888, Valentine was walking down George Street in Brisbane when he saw a man being mauled by a tiger.
Right.
Now, just as one person leapt in and stuck his arm down the tiger's throat, Valentine rushed in and pulled the man being mauled to safety. So Valentine was a hero and he was offered a bravery medal by the Royal Humane Society, but he declined the medal. Now, even Ipswich's William Lancaster, the father of the bride, was speechless after hearing all this. But the whole story started 4 months before the mauling. This was in August 1888, when the Irishman George Higgins brought his collection of wild animals from the Brisbane suburb of Toombul and set up a menagerie on the corner of George and Turbot Streets, there in the city. Now, this included 5 tigers, a cheetah, a panther, 5 dingoes, several monkeys, and a number of snakes. Now, one of the employees there was Peter Bertram, who was variously described as a half-witted German, Austrian, Russian, Pole.
Right.
Now, on the morning in question, Higgins went into the cage to wash 2 of his tigers called Jimmy and Sammy. Right. That's when Bertram fiddled with the cage door and Jimmy the tiger escaped. Bertram started running down George Street with the tiger after him. He was caught by the legs. Bertram got up and ran away again. This time, the tiger swiped it down and started mauling on his head.
Oh.
His scalp was torn away and the brain exposed, although apparently it remained largely intact. Now, by this time, Higgins was grappling with the tiger and Valentine Spendlove joined the fight and dragged Bertram to safety. Now, 3 years after the incident in 1891, Bertram actually shot and killed the young lad but was acquitted of murder, probably because his brain was damaged by the tiger. In 1894, 6 years after mauling, Charles Higgins, the tiger trainer, he was killed on Ipswich Road at Annerley when his horse bolted and his cart overturned. And in 1904, Valentine Spendlove was also killed in an accident just 5 years after telling the story at his brother's wedding. And now William Lancaster, the father of the bride, he died at his home here in Tivoli in 1914. And of Peter Bertram, the victim of the mauling, the half-witted German, he outlived them all till 1934.
Wow.
So, Danny, no matter how good our stories are here on West Brisbane Radio, there's always someone out there who's going to tell one better, isn't there?
There is, and those Tigers want to get into the NRL. I can't believe it. Mate, that is another... However you find these stories, your research is impeccable. We truly appreciate it. The listeners love it, and we can find this story on historyouthere.com.
Yep, and it'll be up there first thing in the morning.
And when we get that book out, it's going to be massive. Come on, Mayor. This bloke, you should sponsor his book. This is fantastic stuff.
And, Danny, we need a name for the book. So if any listeners out there got any ideas, just get them to call you and let's find a name and pick a name for the book.
That's a great idea.
Yep.
Good on you there, Harold. Peacock telling us what's happening in the history of Ipswich on West Bremer Radio 818.